Hi class, it's Mr. Nakashima here, and about to get crazy in our notes right now. So make sure you have lecture slides 3 and 4.2 out. Again, 3 and 4.2. You should have filled this in already, and we're just going to go over it to make sure you have everything filled out correctly. So here we go. What is climate? Well, our climate is the day-to-day condition of Earth's atmosphere at a particular time and place. Think about LA. Our weather is usually sunny. It's usually warm, 70s, unless it's winter, maybe gets into the 60s or high 50s. But the weather also includes if there's rain, if it's sunny, all that stuff. Now, the climate is the average year after year conditions of temperature and precipitation in a particular region. Now, our climate year to year tends to be more dry. As you know, we have the LA drought, and so our climate is usually dry because we don't have a lot of rain. In other places, like the Northwest, it rains a lot, and so their climate is usually full of rain, and it's foresty. There's a lot of grass and green because it gets wet a lot. Now, our climate is caused by a few things. One is the trapping of heat by the atmosphere. Our atmosphere traps the heat like a blanket, like an insulating blanket. Now, our Earth is very different from the moon because the moon doesn't have an atmosphere. If you were to be on the moon and the sun hits, it's going to be very, very hot. However, as soon as the moon faces or does not face the sun and it's dark, it's going to be extremely cold because the moon doesn't have an atmosphere. And so because of no atmosphere, it doesn't keep the heat like our climate does. Another factor in climate is the latitude, how high or low it is from the equator. And lastly, well, not lastly, but the next thing is the transport of heat by winds and ocean currents. If there's an ocean current and the winds pass by, it'll definitely affect the climate. If it rains or if it's dry, like I said before, that'll affect the climate. So precipitation. And lastly, the shape and elevation of land masses. Are there mountains? Is it flat? Are there things that hills and valleys? What are the land masses? How high are they? Are they at sea level? That's the shape and elevation of land masses. Now, this greenhouse effect. Who here has heard about the greenhouse effect? Well, the question is, how does the greenhouse effect maintain the biosphere's temperature range? The temperature range. How hot it is, how cold it is. Well, atmospheric gases trap the heat energy of sunlight, and they maintain Earth's temperature range. Now, what are these gases? These gases include things that you breathe out, or I should say, the gas that you breathe out, which is carbon dioxide. It also includes a gas called methane, water vapor. Those are the three main atmospheric gases that trap the heat's energy of sunlight. So why is it so warm when the sun is down and it's dark? It's because of excuse me. I had something in my throat. Three gases. They're carbon dioxide, methane, and water vapor. This is the greenhouse effect. It's the natural situation in which heat is kept in the Earth's atmosphere. That's the greenhouse effect. It's simply these three gases that keep Earth's atmosphere warm. How does that happen? Well, sunlight will go through the atmosphere, and then once it hits the surface, it'll bounce off. And once it bounces off, it wants to go back into space. And some heat does escape into space. However, the greenhouse gases, like, again, carbon dioxide, methane, and water vapor, will trap the heat, and it'll make it warmer. This is the greenhouse effect. Now, what about latitude? How does latitude affect climate? Well, the solar radiation strikes different parts of Earth's surface at an angle that can vary throughout the year. At the equator, energy strikes it dead on, almost directly. At the north and south poles, the sun's rays strike Earth's surface at a very low angle. And because of that, it affects the climate. Solar radiation that hits directly on the Earth, such as the equator, is going to be a lot more warmer. Those that hit at a lower angle, like the north and south poles, will tend to be cooler, a lot colder, depending on the season. So what are the Earth's three main climate zones? Earth has three main climate zones, and as a result of differences in latitude and the angle of heating, Earth has three main climate zones. They are polar, temperate, and tropical. Again, polar, temperate, and tropical. So let's take a look at these climate zones on Earth.